Hello there YouTube, my name is Logan and I have a new video for y'all that should be helpful for a lot of new people as they're taking their journey into Python or programming as a whole. This video will take about 11 steps or so to complete, and it could be helpful for advanced beginners and intermediate users. Today I'll be showing y'all how to set up Python and Git Bash terminal for use in creating an isolated pip virtual environment. I know it sounds complicated, but it isn't. I would try to guide Linux and Mac users how to do this for their system as well, but my information may be flawed or skewed, so just let me know down in the comments if I messed up on anything, because I am a Windows user, as you can see. I want to say now before I start, Mac users do not need to install the Git Bash terminal. I don't think Linux does either, but it is available for install if y'all want to follow along. But I'm not certain y'all really need to do all this like we need to in Windows, because the ones we have aren't all that great. So we use Git Bash terminal. Okay. There's several benefits that come with using Git as your Git Bash terminal, and some of these are version control when creating a local repository, or cloud-based ones when Git is linked with a site like GitHub. A repository is basically like when you make edits to your code and you save it, basically what happens is now you've created a version, right, where you can go back and see what you changed. So just so you don't lose anything, just in case somebody messed up something, you can go back and change it and fix it. Okay, another benefit is that what we'll be covering today, creating a virtual environment for our pip installed libraries. There's several reasons that this is a good idea, but most important being that it's industry standard as a developer to isolate your libraries and pip installables so you can dictate which versions of Python and which IDEs can have access to them. Some IDEs try to take Python's place as the default Python version and may cause pathing problems, causing some of our libraries to come up as not found or not installed when you try to import them. If you're a beginner, just understand it's important to do this from the very beginning so you don't have to deal with the problems that I've had to deal with and others have probably had to deal with. And it's a very simple task, so try not to get overwhelmed. Just follow through. It's very easy. So let's get started. Okay, as you can see on my screen, I have 11 steps. It could take a little more, it could take a little less, but I don't know. And probably not less, probably more. If you know. But okay. And the first thing we're going to do is install Python. We can install the latest update, or you can install whatever update you want to. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to install the latest, greatest version of Python. I don't know about greatest, but latest. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Google or whatever search browser you use, and we're going to type in python.org. All right, the first thing that should pop up is www.python.org. You click on it, and whenever you go here to downloads, it should say download for Windows or whatever operating system you're using. If you cannot find it there, you just click on downloads, and you should be able to click on which one you want to install it for. For our purposes, we're going to click this, or we can click this, because that's what's going to install it for us on Windows. When we install this, you're going to see it right here. It could take a little while to download for you depending on how fast your internet is, but when it's done, you're going to go ahead and press open file, and you're going to see this. Okay, don't just press install now. I know that seems very simple, but there's actually something important to do. We got to press add Python 3.92 path. Otherwise, you're going to do some type of workaround. This is just the easiest way to do this so that when we install libraries through pip, it actually detects Python in our pathing. It'll make sense later. I'll explain it later. But now you can do whatever you want here, but I suggest you just press the install now button, because after that, there's nothing else that we really need to do here. You can press yes. Let's wait for it to install. Yours may install 32-bit, mine's installing 64-bit. I'm not really sure what it would install for everybody, but it's just about the same. Alright, when it's done, you can close this, and I'm going to go ahead and close out of this window. And the next thing, oh, I don't have to close that. The next thing we have to do is install the Git Bash terminal. Like I said, this is for Windows users only. If you want to download it, Mac users, it's completely up to you, but I suggest you use what's already on your system if you want to. All right, so we're going to look up Git Bash for Windows, and the first couple of things that should pop up, I'm just going to click on git-scm.com, and that will bring this up right here. So you can download it from here and here for Linux users and Mac users, but we're just going to go right here and download the latest version of Git for Windows. When it's done downloading, we're going to go ahead and click on this, and we're going to press yes. It can make changes to our computer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this because this is no longer needed, and we'll get to that later. Okay. So you can read this if you want to. I'm just going to press next. This is where you can tell it where you want the folder to go. I'm just going to keep that default. You can tell it where you want it to go. I want it on my desktop, so that's where I'm going to press that. Yes, you can go ahead and press next. I'm going to use Sublime Text Editor. You can do whatever you want on here, but I'm going to go ahead and say Sublime Text Editor because that's what I use personally. I'm going to go let Git decide. I'm going to use that one. Keep that the same. You can keep that the same as well. Keep that the same. That the same. That the same. That the same. You can activate these if you want to. I don't know exactly what they do, so I'm just going to leave that. Alright, now when it's done, I don't want these release notes. I want it to launch Git Bash for us, and I'm going to put that right there. Alrighty, so now when it's installed, if you didn't press install, automatically go to dash or desktop or auto open, it should be in here somewhere for you. Mine's recently added, so that's what that is. Okay, so the next thing on the list is we're going to update pip. We're just going to make sure pip is up to date, and the easiest way is I'm just going to copy and paste that instead of type all this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste that. Ooh. That's weird. Okay, I'm just going to close it, and I'm going to reopen it, because I don't know what that just did. But I'm going to try pasting that again. Okay, no, it don't want me to. So I'm just going to type it out. Pip install -- upgrade pip set up tools. Make sure you type this out exactly, or you might have to retype it several times to get it correctly. That's quite a lot to type out. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If it does not work for you, you might have to go over here and run this as administrator. And it might, because sometimes it won't let you make changes to your computer depending on your access on the computer. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a directory in our C drive. It could be different for y'all, but see, my C drive is my SSD, and my D drive is my HDD. Most people's drive is just C drive, but it could be different for you. So if it isn't C drive, just come check it out. Come look at your hard drive, and it should say C. Like as you can see here, it says C, or it says D. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step. We're going to step 4, which is make directory /C. That's your hard drive number, and then whatever you want to name this folder. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to name it Virtual Environment. It's quite long. I suggest naming it something short. Like you can name it Virtual, or you can name it whatever you whatever you want. You could even name it Kivy GUI if you're working with Kivy. I'm just gonna type Kivy in it. That's what I'm gonna do since it's short. Okay. Now that I've made the directory, now we want to type cd, which means change directory. We want to type we want to type our hard drive again, but now we're going to go to this file we created. And now you should see right here, it's different. Now we're in this drive. And if we type ls, it's going to tell us what is inside of this folder. And right now there's nothing in this folder. Like, I can show you all that right now. If I go back to C and I type ls, it's going to tell me everything that's inside this folder, right? But there's nothing inside of our Kivy folder that we just created. Okay, next step is we're going to create the virtual environment. This right here was just what's going to hold all of our projects that are going to work with. This is just like the main folder. But now we're going to create a subfolder that actually is the virtual environment, and that's where you're going to install all of your libraries into it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to type out Python. First, I would suggest you do Python -V to check if Python correctly installed. If it didn't, I'd uninstall it, try to reinstall it. I wouldn't just make sure that says that correctly, because if it doesn't say that, that means this isn't going to work for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go Python -m venv for virtual environment, and then the last bit, you get whatever you want to name your virtual environment. For me, I'm going to name it virt, short for virtual environment. I mean, it can literally be anything. I do virt because that's what I've seen other YouTubers do. That's what I've seen other people do. I just do virt. It's going to take a second to load up create the virtual environment. And then next, this Linux users, as you can see right here, they have a different thing they have to do if inside their console. Like I said, I just found this on the internet. This is like on the this is for, yeah, whatever you named. This is the folder name. This is what you type at the very beginning. It's just like the version for us right here. We don't put that. Basically, you're going to type source first. This is similar between both of us. The only difference is that you're going to type bin and we're going to type scripts. Okay, so source, whatever you named that. I named mine virt, so that's what I type here. virt/scripts. What's cool is when you actually start getting this down, you can go source. You can type out the first couple letters and you press tab. It'll auto-fill it with what it thinks should be there. So source, so you can speed up typing this, and you can type CRIC, to auto-fill in scripts, and an AC, and it should auto-fill in activate. And that is just like what it says over here. The only difference is I actually have this here, if that makes sense to y'all. Okay, I'm going to press that. Now what you'll see is this is above my, this wasn't originally above it, as you can see here. Now that shows that we are inside of this folder. We are making changes to this virtual environment, or we are inside of the virtual environment. So I'm going to press clear so I can clear up the terminal. And now we'll go over to step 8. All right, we press L. If we type ls again, it will show us now we have this folder virt that we created inside of our C directory Kivy. We can actually check that by going over here and going down to Kivy, and now we'll see virt, right? Okay, and see that is what creates the virtual environment. All right, so now what we'll do is we want to move into that folder so we can make changes to it. So we're going to do cd / or we don't actually have to do /c/kivy again, and you don't have to do all this. If you want to, you can. It works. See, it works, but all you gotta do from /c/kivy, all you gotta do from here is do do cd and just go virt, and see if you are already in this, you don't have to retype out all that. All you gotta do is cd virt, and it will automatically put you in there. So now we can do ls, and it will show us those folders we were just looking at. These, see, those are the same. And now all we gotta do is now we can do pip freeze, and what that will tell us is what libraries are inside of this folder. that we've downloaded with pip. As you can see, we got nothing. I'm going to clear that up. All right, so now we're going to install whatever libraries we want into our virtual environment. For this purpose of this video, I'm going to be installing Kivy. You can install whatever you want, OpenCV, KivyMD. You can do the exact same thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Python. Well, I'm going to type it out for y'all. Python -m pip install. Like I said, it's very finicky. Make sure you type in the exact same thing. If you do not, it could throw errors and you'll be pulling your hair out. Okay, Kivy_examples. Okay, now we just let that install. This could also throw an error, not finish, if you do not have this run as administrator, depending on yeah, this also will tell you, warning, you should, you are using, we already tried updating it, and it didn't update it to what it thinks we should be at, but we already tried updating it, and it didn't go to that version, so we're not worried about that. So now, as you can see, it says it finished with the status done. So what we're going to do is not ls, we're going to do pip freeze again inside of this folder, and it should show us everything it just installed with pip. As you can see, Kivy Garden, Kivy Examples, and we can actually go look into this folder, and it will show us what we just installed, if I can find it. If I remember where it's at. Right here, Kivy Examples. See? It's all inside of that. Alrighty. And now for this is the easy part. So now we can install any IDE we want to do this. It's going to be different for whatever IDE you use. Some IDEs, I think like PyCharm, it's going to be very difficult for a beginner to use. So as a beginner, I suggest you use idle, which is just the basic run-of-the-mill Python terminal, you know, whatever you want to do. This is the one that comes with the downloaded Python. You can use it if you want to. As a beginner, if you want to just wrap your head around Python, it could be a good idea. But I'm going to show you the one I use because it's easiest for me and it looks nice. So I use this one called Sublime Text Editor. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in Sublime Text Editor in Google, and it should bring you to sublimetext.com. This editor says it's not free, but they don't make you pay for it, if that makes sense. It will pop up like a block of text every now and again saying, this, you have free access, this is a free trial, but it is not, but you don't have to pay for it yet. So like, you don't ever have to pay for it. Eventually they might make you pay for it. Like in a later update, they could go, okay, we want you to pay for it now because too many people are getting it for free. For our case, it's free now, so we can use it. If for some reason you don't want to use it in the future, just delete it, download something else, use idle, use PyCharm, Virtual Studios, whatever you want to do. Okay, so you're going to press download for Windows, or whatever. Like you see over here, we have Linux and Mac, so you could click that, yeah, I believe you would do that, and you would download the version for yourself. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. You can make changes to yours. I wouldn't press that. And then that's all you gotta do is press install there. I'm not gonna do it because I already have it downloaded. After that, it could ask you where you want it installed to. You can install it wherever you want in your computer. I think mine's just in my C drive somewhere. I don't even actually know where it's located. Probably over here somewhere but yeah, that doesn't matter. So once you've downloaded it, we can get rid of this, and now we have this. Okay, now we are inside of this folder, but we don't actually have to stop there because we can go back, right? We can go back to we can go CD and go back to the Kivy folder, and now we can go into that folder. And we can create a new folder called whatever you want, but Python. I'm just going to name it projects for short. This is where I'm going to put all my Python and .kv files for Kivy. But yeah, it's as simple as that. And then when we're done making it, we just go to cd slash Kivy. Well, we don't have to do that, remember, because we're already here. So all we gotta do is do cd, and we type in the name of the thing we just created. So projects, and you can press tab to autofill it. You can put that afterwards. You don't have to. And ls, as you can see, it's empty. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this. All right, now I'm gonna open Sublime Text Editor. So this editor is really cool. I'm just gonna full screen this just because I can. You don't have to. You can, do whatever you want to do. If you want that really small, you can do that. But so as you can see, I got an untitled thing. So what I'm gonna do is I can go to where is it? You can go to View and go to Syntax, right? And that's the cool part of this text editor is you can use this for any coding language you want to. For our purposes, I'm gonna press Python, and as you can see, it auto adjusts to Python. You see what I'm saying? So it will it's really cool. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go to save as, because we've already told you we want it to save as a Python file. If you didn't do that, all you got to do is just do this a little different. When you're saving your file name, you do file.py, but since ours already knows it's a Python file, we just got to type file. But we also want it to go to a specific place. We want it to save in our projects file. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save this as Python project, whatever you want to name it, project, press enter. Now if you go back to this right here, you'll see that it is inside of your project, your projects folder. Okay, now if I type out hello world, and I press save, Control S, or you can press save right there. Make sure you save it after every run, because otherwise it will not update. And then all you do is Python space and your Python project name. Oh, I named it something else, Python, and you can press Control and it will autofill it. If you have something else by the same name, like a .kv file, the same name, it'll do that. And all you gotta do is put .py or whatever you want at the end of it. So python.py, you run it, and as you can see, it gave me hello world. In the future, I'm going to be doing Kivy videos to show you guys how to use Kivy. If you guys are interested, please like and subscribe. And I'm just not going to take up any more of y'all's time today. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And if y'all need help with any of these in the comment section, I'll try to help you guys. And I love helping. So I think there's a couple of group chats on Facebook I'm in. I'll link some of those into the description if any of y'all want to join the group chats. And as a beginner, it's really, really cool to get into a network of people who are willing to help. And I'm here. Other people are here. There's people with way more knowledge than I have. But I'm always willing to help. So like I said, just hit me up in the comment section and I'll try to help you the best I can, especially Mac and Linux users. I can try to help you as much as I can. I can give you information based on third parties, but I cannot give you first-hand help. I cannot do anything unless I download a virtual computer. And I don't know if I want to do that, but if you guys are having that much of a problem with it, I will do it. Okay, y'all have a very good day, and thank you. This is Shadow Codes.